ओम स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतार वरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। नमः श्री यतिराजाय विवेकानंदसूरये सच्चित् सुख स्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। My humble salutations at the feet of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna Dev, Shrima Sharda Devi and Swami Vivekananda. I offer my humble pranams to Swami Suparnanandji Maharaj, the Secretary of Ramakrishna Mission, Institute of Culture, Golpak. I am thankful to him for inviting me to deliver speech during this Bhakta Sammelan being organized on 23rd August from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. The topic that has been given is Message of Swami Vivekananda for the devotees. The message of Swami Vivekananda is spread over 9 volumes of the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. His lectures, his conversations, his letters, poems, all of them have been compiled into 9 volumes. Previously, there were 8 volumes. Now the 9th volume has also come up, and that has been translated into various languages. So it's a very vast literature. And to find out what is essentially the message of Swami Vivekananda from these complete works, very difficult, very vast literature. Fortunately for us, Swami Vivekananda himself has summarized his own teachings. He wrote to Sister Nivedita, "My ideal indeed can be put into a few brief words, and that is to preach unto mankind their divinity within and how to make it manifest in every moment of their life." So there are 2 parts of it, this sentence. One, first of all, to preach unto mankind their divinity within. That is the whole purpose of his life. That is the purpose of life. In fact, he told Eric Hammond a few years before his passing away, "It may be that I shall find it good to get outside of this body, to cast it off like a disused garment, but I shall not cease to work until the world shall know that it is one with God." So, message of Swami Vivekananda is essentially the message of divinity. And this is the message that he delivered in the Parliament of World's Religions in Chicago in 1893. And while talking about Hinduism, he quoted a shloka from the Shveta Upanishad. "Shunvantu vishve amritasya putraah aye dhamani divyani tastuh vedahametam purusham mahantam adityavarnam tamasa parastat tameva viditva atimrityumeti nanya pantha viditayanaya." "I have found the ancient one who is beyond all miseries. By knowing him alone, you shall be free from all miseries." Amrit. And then Swami Vivekananda said, "My dear sisters and brothers of America, let me call you by this sweet name, Amritasya Putra. Ye, the children of immortal bliss, holy and perfect beings. Yea, divinities on earth sinners, it is a sin to call a man so. It is a standing label on human nature. Come up, alliance, and shake off the delusion that you are sheep. Your soul is immortal, spirits free, blessed and eternal. You are not matter, you are not bodies. Matter is a servant, not ye the servant of matter. This is the message he gave. And he went on giving that message for 3.5 years. He became very popular from the very first speech on 11th September. Short speech when he started with sisters and brothers from America. And all the 7,000 people stood up and clapped and clapped and clapped and applauded for more than 2 minutes. And from that time onwards, he became so popular. He was in the front page of all the newspapers. And the New York Herald said, the greatest figure in the parliament of religions is Swami Vivekananda. After listening to him, we feel how foolish on our part to send missionaries to India. Their religion is so great there. Rather, we should invite missionaries from India. The whole table is turned because of one speech. He produced before the whole world the glory of Indian spiritual culture. And he became so famous overnight that his photographs were published and put in the streets, the newspapers, everywhere. And then he had to stay on in America for more than 3.5 years to continue to preach the message of divinity. And everywhere he would go and say, you are divine, you are divine. Once an American lady said, Swami, you're trying to hypnotize us by always saying, you are divine, you are divine, you are divine. Swamiji smiled and said, Madam, I am not trying to hypnotize you. I am trying to dehypnotize you. Already you are hypnotized by thinking I am sinner, I am sinner, I am weak, I am weak. You are divine, that is the first truth. You are divine, that is the second truth. You are divine, that is the last truth. There is no truth greater than this. Like a prophet, Swami Vivekananda gave that message of divinity there. So many people got solace. So many people got peace of mind. And he continued to give this message of divinity. And he gave the great gift to the world of 4 yogas through his lectures on 4 yogas in America, which have now been compiled into the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. He said, each soul is potentially divine. The goal of human life is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature, external and internal. Do this either by work or worship or psychic control or philosophy, by one or more or all of these, and be free. This is the whole of religion. Doctrines, dogmas, rituals, temples, churches, mosques are but secondary details. Manifesting the divinity, that is the supreme purpose of human life. That is the goal of human life. And that is the purpose of religion, and that is exactly what is true religion. True religion is equal to true spirituality. Religion minus fanaticism, religion minus rituals, that is the type of religion Swami Vivekananda propagated. Essentially, the message of spirituality, the message of divinity that Swami Vivekananda preached. So he taught 4 yogas, and all the lectures are available in the complete works of Swami Vivekananda in the form of, and there are separate books, independent books also, Raj Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Karma Yoga. What is Raj Yoga? In his Raj Yoga book, he gives beautiful scientific introduction and then followed by the translation, brilliant translation of the aphorism of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. And there he says, Raj Yoga consists of 8 steps. Ashtanga Yoga, also it is called Ashtanga Yoga. What are the 8 steps? Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, and Samadhi. What is Yama? Yama consists of 5 things. Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha, Ahimsa. And Niyama also 5. Shauch, Santosh, Tap, Swadhyay, Ishwar Pranidhan. So Yama and Niyama are the foundation stone, the edifice on which the superstructure of Raj Yoga is built. Many people, they want to sidetrack the foundation, want to have Hawa Mahal, want to have castle in the air, and that castle remains in the air, and you have a sudden fall down. Many people, they say, no. Yama Niyam we don't like, but we want to have Samadhi directly. We want 8 step. We want to jump into the 8th floor without going to the ground floor. Not possible. Naturally, many people, they come to grief. Swami Vivekananda has given a warning in Raj Yoga. Do not practice these things without the individual guidance from a competent guru, competent teacher. Some of these things, particularly the pranayama, should not be practiced without the proper guidance of a competent teacher. That's what Swamiji has told. And that is why so many cases, sometimes they come to us that this person has lost his mind. This person's Kundalini has gone up now, it is not coming down. Who told you to push the Kundalini up? So now these have become very cheap words, Kundalini, Samadhi. Without going to, and for Satya, truthness, no, it is not possible. We have to be practical. We cannot follow truth. It's not possible. Satya we cannot follow. Asteya, stealing, yes, stealing we can follow. But of course, whatever we do stealing in income tax, that is not stealing as according to us. Brahmacharya, that is old idea. Continuous. Aparigraha, non-covetousness. We want gifts him only. Whatever is available free we want. And we want to hold. We want to have a sort of a mall in our own house, inside our house. So again you go for a bigger house, again you bring, if you got the shopping, only hobby is shopping naturally. So you bring the things from the mall, and a mall is built up in your house, and the house becomes smaller, then you go for a still bigger house. This goes on. This is what is happening in many places. So we do not like aparigraha idea. Ahimsa, yes, non-violence. We do not keep any weapon. But of course, we have got AK-47, which we use whole day. That is our tongue. And when we say some very sharp words, they are so sharp, the other person remembers it for 5 years minimum. Such type of AK-47 we use through our tongue. Satya not possible, Asteya not possible, Brahmacharya not possible, Aparigraha not possible, Ahimsa not possible, nor do we want to practice them. Niyama also we don't want to practice. Shauch, cleanliness, not necessary. Santosh, contentment, what you are talking, contentment, Santosh, no. Modern motivational speakers say, no, you increase your ambition. You must be very ambitious. Go on more and more. Do not put any stop to a hankering. Go on increasing hankering. Santosh, don't be satisfied with your money. If you are a millionaire, you must become a billionaire. There is no full stop. Go forward and forward in earning money and spending money and in all sorts of things. This is the modern age. Then Soch, Santosh, Tap, austerity. We don't like it. Very difficult nowadays. Tap. Swadhyay means reading the books, holy books. No time. We are very busy. Don't tell us. No time. For Swadhyay, no time. Ishwar Pranidhan, no faith in Ishwar. So how the Pranidhan can come? How can we surrender to God when there is no faith in God? So this Niyama also not possible. Yama not possible. We want to directly go to the 8th floor, that is called Samadhi. And there are people who can give Samadhi in $500 and people who are now purchasing Samadhi at $500. Only it doesn't last long. And then they come back to sometimes ending up in mental hospital. This is what is happening. So Swami Vivekananda warned, Raj Yoga, if you want to practice, go for the real Raj Yoga. What is that? Yama and Niyama. They have prepare a foundation first. Otherwise, you are going to end up in mental hospital. Yama, Niyama are most important. That is the foundation. And then Pranayama also only Rechak Purak, Swamiji said. If you want to go Kumbhak, you must do it under the special guidance of a competent guru, and also it should be done where the oxygen level is high, where there is natural environment, an environment where there is no pollution, which is so much pollution around, and you want to go for pranayama. You want to go for kumbha. So that is to be avoided, Swamiji says. But of course, we can go for pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and if we go on practicing meditation, but of course, when we say we are meditating, actually we are not meditating. We are doing pratyahara. That is, our Guruji has told us to concentrate on a particular Ishta Devta or on a particular pratyay. Pratyay can be anything, maybe a light, maybe a lamp, maybe the figure of a god. It can be anything. Pratyay. So concentrating your mind on a pratyay, you try to concentrate. Again, the mind goes here and there. Again, you bring it back. That is called pratyahar. Most of us, when we say we are meditating, we are doing pratyahar only. But if you can really concentrate your mind continuously without any sort of break within, continuously, if you can really concentrate at one particular point for 12 seconds consecutively, without even a single fraction of a break, that is called dharana. Then 12 seconds into 12 seconds, 144 seconds, 2.5 minutes approximately. If you can do that for 2.5 minutes, not a single second the mind is going here, there, on the same spot. That is called meditation. And 12 seconds into 12 seconds into 12 seconds, about half an hour. If you can do without mind going here and there, not even for a fraction of a second, that is samadhi. Long way to go for us. We are still at the stage of pratyahar. But we should not be disappointed. First, if we can cultivate the virtues of yama and niyama and purify the mind, it will be easier for us to control the mind, and then we can go. So this is the mind, this is the yoga, Raj Yoga, the mind of the yoga of control, mind control. Then second thing is Bhakti Yoga. prayer, repeating the mantra, worship, all these come under pilgrimages. These are all Bhakti Yoga. Third is Gyan Yoga. Gyan Yoga is trying to know one's true nature. Who am I? Am I this body? No. Am I the mind? No. Am I the intellect? No. Am I the ego? No. Who am I? Chidanand Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. That is Gyan Yoga. Or to make it easier for the understanding of the modern man, it is reading some inspiring books and meditating on that, contemplating on the meaning of the thoughts given in the holy books. Fourth, Karma Yoga, which is most important yoga for the modern man, because everyone will have to do work. Either you go for work, for a job, or the housewives will have to cook, will have so many items. Some people have got the wrong notion that the housewives do not have any work. Then one management consultant said, how do you say that she doesn't work? She doesn't. What does she see? She doesn't do anything. What? She doesn't do anything? Then the management consultant said, okay, how many hours do you work? 8 hours in the factory. What are her timings? No timings. Anytime she is on the job. 24 hours. Excepting a sleep, few hours. Rest of the time. And when you got holidays, she is still more busy. So, and then you get casual leave, you get earned leave. How many earned leave for her? 0. Casual leave? 0. 365 days, there is no holiday for her. And what is the salary? 0 rupees. And what is the reward? She doesn't do anything. So, and when she falls sick, then only you understand her importance. So, a housewife is also working. So, everybody has to work. So, work is a must. So, converting work into worship, that is Karma Yoga. And that is all we have to learn the technique, converting work into worship, because unless until we spiritualize the whole life, unless until we convert 24 hours into our spiritual practice. Spiritual practice only for 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening is not enough. So, we have to convert our work into worship. How this can be done? By changing the attitude of mind. And Sri Ramakrishna says, by non-attachment. Do not get attached to your work. Do not get attached to the fruits of the work. Karmani avadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hedurvu mate sangostu akarmani, says the Bhagavad Gita. So, remaining unattached, if we can do work, it will be converted into worship. Very simple method I will give you for the devotees for converting work into worship. Very simple method. Practice sandwich sadhana. What is sandwich sadhana? You have all seen sandwich. You know also how to prepare sandwich. Just take up one piece of bread and then put something on that, masala, cheese, butter, tomato, anything that you want to put, and put another piece of bread. Sandwich is ready. So, when you get up early in the morning, preferably get up early in the morning for the sadhakas. So, whenever you get up, just pray to the Lord, O Lord, whatever work I will be doing today, they are all dedicated unto you, and the fruits of the work also dedicated unto you. And that is one piece of bread. Then now go on putting the masala of work whole day. At night, while going to bed, pray to God, O Lord, today whatever work I have done, I am dedicated it to you. and the fruits of the work also dedicating to you. This is sandwich sadhana. Now you can prepare small sandwich also. This is one big sandwich. Then while going to the office, oh Lord, whatever work I will do in the office, dedicated unto you, and the fruits also dedicated unto you. After coming back from the office, oh Lord, whatever I did in the office, dedicated unto you, and the fruits also dedicated unto you. So this will convert work into worship. The change of attitude of mind will convert work into worship. So these are the 4 yogas. And Swami Vivekananda says each and every yoga is capable of independently taking you to the divine. So which is better? Swami Vivekananda says that is for you to decide. Some people may like Karma Yoga, some may like Raj Yoga. So according to your choice, you can follow that yoga. But then what yoga you have practiced? Swami Vivekananda says, well, I am practicing all the 4 yogas. So Roma Rolla says, Swami Vivekananda rode on all the 4 horses simultaneously. So he practiced all the 4 yogas simultaneously. And he also said, would to God that all were of such temperament that all of us would be going for the harmony of all the 4 yogas. That is an ideal situation. That is an ideal personality, integrated personality, an ideal personality where you combine all the 4 yogas. That is an ideal situation. And then he said, this organization, that is Ramakrishna Mission, the main theme is realization of God, or manifesting the divinity, whatever you may call, self-knowledge. In the language of the Gyan Yoga, self-knowledge. In the language of Raj Yoga, awakening of the Kundalini. In the language of the Bhakti Yoga, realization of God. Whatever you say, you may call. Ultimately, that is the destination. So you may take up any path, but Ramakrishna Mission says, Swami Vivekananda says, the best is combine all the 4 yogas. Now this is keeping with the latest modern management technology, management technique. You know, because of this coronavirus pandemic, a lot of companies are getting dissolved, they are getting lost, economic slowdown. But which are the companies which are still surviving? Those who are able to practice productivity. So you must practice productivity in order to have profitability. And if you want to survive during this crisis time, during the time of crisis, during the time of slowdown, economic slowdown. So how the productivity can be increased? By maximum utilization of the resources. So Swami Vivekananda says we should maximum utilize all our faculties. We have hands to work. So let us work for the Lord. That is Karma Yoga. So God has given you the heart. That heart you dedicate unto God. The heart wants to love and wants to receive love. How much love you want to receive? Infinite love. How much? So you want infinite love? That can come from God. So love the Lord thy God with all thy strength, with all thy might, with all thy heart. That is Bhakti Yoga. So utilize the heart. Then God has given intellect. With that intellect, let us try to discriminate what is real, what is unreal, what is temporary, what is permanent. That is Gyan Yoga. And we have got the mind. It is a monkey mind. We have to tame that monkey, control that mind. Controlling the mind, that is Raj Yoga. So, these 4 yogas if we practice, then we are maximum utilizing all the 4 faculties available with us. That will give us the advantage, the benefit. Not only that, when we practice these yogas in isolation, what happens? There is some danger. For example, some people, they try to practice Raj Yoga, only Raj Yoga, and say whole day they are doing meditation. What happens? Ending up in mental hospital. But if you combine Karma yoga with Raj yoga. Morning, evening, you do meditation, and whole day you try to serve the society, try to serve the people, try to serve the human beings. Shiva Jnana Jeev Seva, as Sri Ramakrishna said. What happens? That particular danger of going to mental hospital is averted. Now, if you do only Karma yoga, try to do service to humanity, there is a danger. When you get some credit, when you get some success, you take the credit. Oh, I have done so much of work. Then ego is boosted up. When ego comes, gone. You cannot advance in spiritual life. So, at that time, you can mix Bhakti Yoga. No, I have not done. It is all grace of God. Mix up that Bhakti Yoga with Karma Yoga. So, the ill effect of Karma Yoga will be gone. Mixing Karma Yoga with Raj Yoga, ill effect of Raj Yoga will be gone. But Bhakti Yoga, if you do in isolation, what happens? You become sentimental nonsense, Swamiji says. You become too emotional and you float with the emotions. You become illogical also. So try to put Jnana Yoga with Bhakti Yoga. What happens? Jnana Yoga separately if you do, you become so dry. So combine it with Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga in isolation, you become sentimental fool. So combine Jnana Yoga. You become rational, a rational devotee. So Sri Ramakrishna used to say, Bhakto hobi to hobi, boka hobi keno. Try to be practical. So combine Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. So these combination of 4 yogas is the ideal of the modern age and the order of modern man. This is what Swami Vivekananda propagated. So he himself designed the emblem of Ramakrishna Mission. You must have seen the emblem of Ramakrishna Mission. What is there? One is the serpent. Serpent indicates Kundalini Shakti. You know, the Kundalini power, the power of Kundalini Shakti moves from Muladhar up to Sahasrara. Up to Sahasrara. There are 3 types of canals or channels. Ida, Pingala and Sushumna. So Sushumna is on the middle. So from the middle, from the Muladhar, the Kundalini Shakti goes. How? In a serpent way. Like a serpent, it goes like this. So after passing through Muladhar, Swadhisthana, Manipur, then it comes to Anahat, that is the heart chakra. Then it comes to Vishuddha chakra, throat, Agna chakra, and then Sahasrara on the head. After crossing all these 6 chakras, it reaches Sahasrara, and then you get the Samadhi, the highest state, infinite existence, infinite knowledge, infinite bliss. So the goal of Raj Yoga is to have that infinite. Goal of Jnana Yoga to reach that infinite. The goal of Bhakti Yoga to reach that infinite God. So everywhere we have infinite knowledge, infinite bliss, Sat Chit Anand. This is the infinite existence, infinite bliss, infinite knowledge. That is the ultimate aim. And this is how it can be done by 4 ways. And if you combine 4 ways, so serpent is indication of Raj Yoga. Then there is sun. Sun indicates knowledge, so Jnana Yoga. And this is Raj Yoga. The serpent, Raj Yoga, the sun, Jnana Yoga. Then there is lotus. Lotus indicates love, the path of love, the path of devotion, Bhakti Yoga. The waves are there, waves of water or the waves of karma, Karma Yoga. Inside that is a Hansa, a swan, and it is written there below, Tanno Hansa Prachodayat. This is how the vision of the Hansa or Paramhansa is achieved. Paramhansa is equal to Paramatman. So that swan represents Hansa is equal to Paramhansa is equal to Paramatman is equal to God. So this particular emblem of Ramakrishna Mission, designed by Swamiji himself, what does it say? By combining Raj Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga, we can easily achieve, we can easily have vision of the ultimate reality, Paramatman or Paramhansa. Tanno Hansa Prachodayat. This is how the ultimate reality can be achieved, can be attained. How? By combining the 4 yogas. So this is a very nice path that Swami Vivekananda has given to the modern man, combining all the 4 yogas. What happens? It is easy to follow. How the monks of Ramakrishna Mission, they follow. Early morning, we have got conch shell. So we have to go for Aarti, Mangal Aarti, that is Bhakti Yoga. Then we have meditation. We all meditate in the shrine. That is Raj Yoga. Then we have some Gita chanting, etc. That is Gyan Yoga. In the evening again, there is Aarti, Sandhya Aarti, prayer, Khandana Bhava Bandhana. Then we all meditate. And then we also have some reading from the scripture, the gospel or something. So morning we are practicing Gyan Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and Raj Yoga. Again in the evening we are practicing the 3 yogas, and whole day Karma Yoga. Every monk will have to do some work. Swami Vivekananda made a rule, because this is paramount for the modern age, work, Karma Yoga. Because why he said give so much importance to Karma Yoga? Because this is an age when we first asked that we asked, what will be the profit? Particularly in Gujarat, the first question they ask, if you put any proposition, faydo શું થશે? What will be the profit? So Swami Vivekananda gave a message which gives you double profit. What is that? When you serve somebody else in the manner of Shiva Jnana Jiva Seva, considering that man as a representative of God, what happens? That person is served. You are giving chapatis. So Swami Vivekananda says, so far you had heard the mantras, Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. I am giving some additional mantras for the age, for this modern age. What are they? Daridra Devo Bhava, Rogi Devo Bhava. God coming in the form of the diseased, God coming in the form of sick, God coming in the form of poor. Worship that God. Now what happens? When you worship that God, that person gets medicine. That person gets food. He is cured. Or his hunger is cured. Yes. Profit number 1. And what happens to you? You get God realization. By worshipping God in man, you are practicing Karma Yoga, so you get God. What is get? Infinite knowledge, infinite happiness, infinite bliss. Double profit. The person who is served also gets profit. The person who is serving gets infinite profit. So this is a beautiful way Swami Vivekananda has given this Karma Yoga, which gives double profit. And he says combine all the 4 yogas with more emphasis on Karma Yoga. And this is what exactly the monks of Ramakrishna Mission are doing. This is exactly how the devotees are doing of Ramakrishna Mission. And this is how we can we can manifest the divinity in a very simple way. And we don't have to go to the forest. We don't have to go to the caves. Swami Vivekananda says, living wherever you are, living in the place wherever you are, doing the work, whatever you are doing, just change the attitude of mind, combine all the 4 yogas, and you will reach the infinite. So this is a very easy path Swami Vivekananda has given, the path of combination, harmony of 4 yogas. It will give us infinite knowledge, infinite bliss, infinite happiness, and ultimately. And when we are practicing that in everyday life, every day we will have happiness and peace. So that also is a great solace for us. So I bow down my head at the feet of Swami Vivekananda. Let us pray to him. May we be able to practice the harmony of all the 4 yogas as preached by him and get infinite knowledge, infinite happiness, infinite peace, and also happiness and peace in the everyday life. With my prayers at the feet of Swamiji, Sri Ramakrishna Dev, Holy Mother Sharda Devi, and thanking once again Swami Supurnandaji, I hereby conclude my speech. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tassat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.